Hey guys, it's just Dr. Megs here again. I have about half an hour before my first patient for the day arrives, and I thought I'd record a quick vlog for you. For those of you who know me well, I'm not a huge cosmeticsy kind of person, but after my last effort of recording and posting a late night video blog, and after actually reviewing it, I thought I'd save you guys the eyesore and maybe record you a video blog in the morning rather than at 10 p.m. at night after a full day of work. So, look, I don't know about you guys, but I am completely COVIDed out. I am sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of worrying about it. So without being deliberately ignorant, because goodness knows that there is enough demonstration of that in the world at the moment, I wanted to talk about something that is non-COVID related, but then can be applicable to the COVID situation if you want it to be. And so I'm going to talk about routine in kids today. For those of you who come to see me in clinic and who follow the blog, you'll often hear me mention the importance of routine for kids. And I'm not going to talk today about how to establish a routine for your kids, but I'm going to talk to you about why it's important and how your kids' brains work and how their bodies respond to predictability and routine, and more importantly, how that can help you as a parent make your day easier. So when we're talking about daily routines, I'm talking about things like the getting ready for school morning routine. So get up, eat breakfast, brush their teeth, get their uniforms on, pack their bags, etc. Things like bedtime routines, like winding down before bed, homework routines, those sorts of things. I think the most important thing about the physiology of routines is that when things are unpredictable and you don't have a routine, stress and anxiety in kids, and this is applicable to adults as well, it causes release of adrenaline and cortisol in your body. And you would all know that when you have adrenaline release in your body, it increases your baseline energy level because it's your fight and flight response. In the short term, what this can look like is that your kid can look like they're really fidgety and motor overactive, can't sit still, they might be irritable, they might be oppositional and defiant. So sort of pulling that apart a little bit as kids are trying to control their environment by making things go their way. What they're trying to do is actually reduce their own anxiety. It can look like poor sleep, it can look like poor appetite, it can look like kids that verbally or physically lash out at the smallest little thing. In the longer term, it can look like kids that set up undesirable behavioral habits in response to stressful situations. It can look like family conflict. It can look like, prolonged high levels of stress, and cortisol can lower immune function. So it can even look like recurrent infections in some kids. So the opposite situation where we've got predictability and routine, what this does is it supports children's brain development because it helps them to remain calm. It helps them to set up a habit of being able to regulate their own emotions because they're not constantly challenged to regulate their emotions. It helps us as parents to regulate our emotions because we're not constantly in this situation where we're fighting them all the time. So knowing what to expect from their day and what their role is in it helps kids to not only regulate themselves, but to learn how to organise themselves within the context of their life. What do we do though if things don't go to plan? Because let's face it, quite often they don't. Now, there are 100 ways that I could answer that question, but I think in the interest of trying to keep this clip as brief as possible, in the short term, try to model staying calm, using your brain and problem solving around the situation. And then when possible, go back to what the usual routine is following that change. In a longer term situation, and I guess this is where COVID it might be applicable in the COVID situation, but things like pandemics, things like moving house, moving schools, parents separating. The fact is that if you are able to keep your child's usual routine in the face of a big upheaval, it is one of the most important ways that you can actually support your child with dealing with that change, because it's a way that we can help them to control their environment where lots of things are not controlled, in a really positive way, in order to reduce their anxiety or at least keep it to a minimum. So I guess the take-home message is having routines and predictability in your day and in your children's day not only helps them with their development in so many different ways, but it also helps you as a parent because it makes your job easier. And let's face it, all of us need that. So now I need to get going because my clinic's getting started. So have a great day, and I will talk to you guys hopefully quite soon. Bye.